What is going on, guys and gals, ladies and laddies? Welcome back to more West of Loathing. In the last one, we spent far too long there in Shaggy Dog Cove Cave. Freaking Jeremy Johnson Plackwright, Mr. Plackwright and his friends, who actually got the treasure. You notice trails of burnt vegetation off the side of the trail, which can only mean one thing. A hell calf is grazing nearby. Fight it. Punch it in the head. Bam! Got him. Roasted cow tongue. Ooh. Just did a little wander. Back to Button Willows. We're heading to Button Willows. You happen across an abandoned crate, which apparently fell off a wagon or something since the lid's been knocked loose. You know what that means. It's mine. You fish through the crate and help yourself to the contents, which appear to be mining gear, so you were even more right than you knew. Can of kerosene and a sulfur match. Nice. Couple little things. Excuse me, Miss Ma'am. Take a look. Another cow punching book. Definitely got to buy that. Desert eating and drinking. Might come useful. Some needles. A pickaxe. Provides the option to hammer things in certain places, particularly if you have some nails. Well, I'll take a hammer and some nails. Get one-handed image of night, weaken foes, roasted cow tongue with mysticality. Okay. Well, look, we got some new stuff. Desert eating. We got some foraging. And a new cow punching. Get gore. Skill that lets you attack an entire row of enemies. Skill lets you perform 3 punch attacks. The old 1, 2, 3. That's what I want. Give him the old 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Alright. Gustavson Gulch. Find a bandit, snoozing cozily. In stark contrast to his whimsical pants, he is undeniably hostile. I want those pants. Whoo! Pa 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 pa. Thick quilted pants. Those are my pants now, buddy. The other ones gave muscle. I can spare a couple muscle for more armor and health. Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Fancily dressed goblin steps forward. Hi, hello, being a mayor. Welcome. Now, going away, please. Seems friendly, but blocks your entry into the gulch. Can I not coming in? Sorry, only for goblins being. Very private. Fine, then. You want to be like that? Oh, I don't have enough AP for it. Shotgun. Hit him. Shotgun him. Oh my god. Hit him with the old 1, 2, buckle my shoe, Sarah. We gotta do this. We got it. Gulch oysters. Nothing interesting. Single goblin. The old 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you didn't find anything interesting. A library. Go inside. The shack is filled with crude bookshelves. The bookshelves, in turn, how to bird noise. Alice going into a seeing glass. So very complicated. How to bird noise. Alright, stop browsing. Check out the inside. Lockpicking plus needle. Make short work of the lock. Head inside. Ooh, you enter what turns out to be a delicatessen. And help yourself to what turns out to be sandwiches, probably. Got 3 goblin sandwiches. Storage. Check it out. Shack is filled with thousands of tiny cupboards, each labeled with a number in goblin. Look at a random one. Keep looking. Look at a more random one. Keep it an even randomer one. Okay, so I've found everything that I could find. Goblin trousers, +3 armor, and some moxie. This is Gulch Goblin Lollipop. Okay. Oh, hey, hold on. Red herring storage. You hear a couple of goblins rustling around in there. Sounds like they're doing something really important. No, it said red herring. Mayor's house. Yeah, investigate the bed. Check out the desk. Important secrets. Read the important secrets. You learn a variety of secrets, though the only one that's actually pertinent to your circumstance is that there's a spare key to the treasure cave in drawer 69105 in the storage hut. 69105 in the storage hut. Treasure cave key. Look at that. The theater. Head backstage. You sneak backstage and watch the play from behind a curtain. Not only is it a goblin version of Hamlet, it's also been rewritten as a one-man show. To be or to not being? Oh, that is a question. Could it better thinking of suffering as crazy things and arrows? Or fighting so many bad things for stopping them because fighting? To dying, to sleeping, hey, dreaming maybe. But, oh, problems. If dreaming crazy when living, what dreams having after dying? Wow, pretty weird probably. You watch for a while, the bits where the actor has to do a sword fight with themselves are pretty entertaining. Ooh, Goblin Cafe. Check out inside. Lockpicking. Goblin Chicory. Guard Barracks. Let's not mess with that. This is the treasure cave. Let's forage a mug of cactus beer. We have the key. Excuse me, sir. The goblin is paying more attention to their book, Goblet, than to you, but you're pretty sure you aren't going to just be waltzing on by. Spoil the ending. Hey, Goblet, good book. What thinking about how Goratio is only surviving one at the end? Everyone else dying, poisoning, sorting, pow, blam. No, wow, spoilers. He runs out. The Goblin Guard is whittling a little wooden bird call, but they're not too busy to beat you up if you try to get past them. Try out your new bird call skills. You duck behind a stalagmite and do your great-crested grebe impression. Gasp! A great-crested grebe, wow! Guard pulls a pair of binoculars out of his uniform and runs out of the cave. Unlike the other two guards, this one is being very attentive and seems very suspicious of you. Also, unlike the other two guards, they have a name tag that says Gene. Remind them about their cafe shift. Gene, you're supposed to be working at... hey, Gene, you supposing working at cafe today? You forgetting? Oh, wow, oh no. Goblin quickly takes off their guard uniform and puts on a cafe uniform and races out of the cave. Well, would you look at that? Meat. A year's supply of dynamite. Oh, I need those. You should let the railroad guys do that. Okay. I need more needles. I need a way to find needles. Let's get out of there. Alminery, Potemkin, Pickle Factory. Let's go back to the railroad camp. Dynamite Dan's Discount Dynamite Dare House. Yeah, let's go there. Why wouldn't I go to Dynamite Dan's Discount Dynamite Dare House? He's got dynamite and more dynamite. And lo and behold, probably some additional dynamite. I have that equipped. I'm gonna sell that. Goblin trousers? Sell those. Mug of cactus beer? Sell it. Sell the chicory and the goblin sandwiches, because I don't need them. Yeah, I don't need anything else from you, Dan. Let's just go to Potemkin, then. I don't have a needle on me. Excuse me. No entry. It's a bar. Real jail. Hostlers on vacation. Genuine TNT and sandwiches. Alright, whatever. Leave through the back door. It doesn't seem safe, no. Okay. So I need to get people at the second and the fourth building, it looks like. Lost my belt buckle. Oh, hold on. So TNT and sandwiches in real jail. My belt buckle. Did you check near the sandwich shop? And we look. Where'd she go? Okay, good. She's at the right spot, I think. So, second building. Oh, do I need to get all of them over to this one? To the... Okay. So, I need to tell... Let me see, if I try to go into there, that guy chases after me. So if I try to go to the jail, that guy will get mad. If I go here... So I need to get her to run all the way to the jail. Go here. Bar's closed. That guy will run over to the bar. Oh no, I needed him to run over to the jail. Look near the jail. I go to the door. And I just follow this lady. Spook her out. And then we go to the jail. And then we spook her again. Now all three of them are by the jail. And now I can drop the sign on them. Crash fake building falls over on the real bandits. Perfect. See, I knew what I was doing. Came back here, I saw a sign, and I didn't want to kill him, so we just knock him out and arrest him. Take him to jail. 1,000 meat and 45 experience. Cool. Who's the last ones? Pickle boys? Gherkin brothers? Check my stats. 662. Well, gosh dang. Let's get a couple levels of intimidating. Let's get one of those. And each punch deals 3 more damage. Let's do that. We don't really use Bull Stomp that much, but let's upgrade that. Let's upgrade my Grit. Grit again, Gumption. And then use the rest on my strength and maybe like some Moxie. Yeah, looks good. Alright, where are we going now? We need to go to the railroad camp. Hey, it's a human person. Hey, human person, away to going. It's my cactus that's mine and not yours. Talk to it. Hello, how are you? I will not your cactus taking. Good, yes, good, hello. Why are you two chopping a cactus down? Why? What a lot of uses. To building, to burning, to eating little toothpicks. Take his axe. What? No, an axe is mine, this one. What if I loudly shouting at you and my arms waving and angry things to doing? I would not to liking it. Here is an axe, but this is upsetting. Sorry, I to having a need of it. Oh yeah, is it any better than what I'm using right now? 7 to 9 with a muscle boost. That's 9 to 11 with a muscle boost. So I'm going to keep St. Beefus's thigh. Hey, any luck finding a year's supply of dynamite? Passengers are getting restless. Yeah, here you go. Good, perfect. This will do the trick just fine. Hang back for a bit while I get the fellas to set up the charges. I'll let you do the honors. Smee consults with the other workers, and they inspect the rocks for a time. Eventually, one of them shrugs, pushes the whole crate of dynamite up next to the rocks, and wires up the detonator. Wait, don't you have a longer detonator cable? Nope. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just give me a 3 count before you hit the plunger, so I have time to get under the train. No. What the holy heck is that thing? It's a rock monster man. Intimidate it? Oh, I can just pulverize it if I have 20 muscle. I have 1 more stomach room. Extra muscle. Yeah, I'm just gonna smash him. Pulverize. Crack your knuckles, take a deep breath, and aim your strongest haymaker at the rock monster. Your punch blows open a fracture caused by the dynamite. Cascading fault lines crisscross the creature's surface. With a roar of anger and pain, it explodes into fine gravel. Heck yeah, welcome to the gun show. All in a day's work. Well, now this is as fine a day's work as I've ever seen. Much obliged, friend. We'll be getting the rest of this track laid down and head out now. Here, I'll mark our route on your map for you in case our paths happen to cross again. Thanks, but can't I just ride the train? Got a ticket? Just kidding, of course you don't. Every seat on this train sold out. Sorry, boss. You punk. Yeah, but now we can go that way. So that's cool. Let's go to Fort Aldead. Burly, grizzled man in leather, well everything, is busy peeling the skin off of a no longer recognizable animal. He looks up at you and growls, brandishing his skinning knife, as if to say, bother me and you'll be next. Bother me and you'll be next. Yeah, I got that. Should I bother him? I'm gonna bother him. Oh, I can do this now. Something skin pants and a varmint skinning knife. Allows you to collect skin from beasts, and that gives me Moxie. Interesting. Alright, Fort Aldead. Holy goddamn. Yeah, this is a little intense. We have to do something about this immediately. Any ideas? Well, only way I can think of to get rid of all these things all at once would be to poison them somehow. That's very doctorly. What, you never heard of vaccination? Look, would you rather fight an army of skeletons all at once, or find a way to slip something into their food supply nice and quiet-like? Alright, they don't seem to notice me. Strategy room. Giant map of the region. It's a little model. Flush toilet. Flush toilet. Fish around in it. Skeleton floor. Flush toilet. What the heck's that? Basically just dust. Alright. Oh, wait. There's something. Rifleman insignia. Oh, pistol damage upgrade. That's kind of cool. I might use that later. Barracks. In the barracks, I need a needle. Open it. Needle. Let's see if there's any other ones. Consumes a needle. This one's just regular. I'm going to keep my needles on me for a moment because I don't know whether I'm going to find more needles. Examine it. Salted crickets. Crushed termites. Brandied tongues. Taint the food supply with waste. Sprinkle the waste all over the food. If this works, by tomorrow they should all be gone. Pickled slugs in mustard. Gross. Dig through it. Not without some stench resistance. Well. Well. It just so happens I have some flowers. An old patrol cap. And another ritual circle. Cryptic note about ley lines. Introductory Nexmex. Read it. Seems to have been written by one of the Necromancer's cultists. He and several others were reanimating the dead soldiers here, and on the theory that the best undead army would be a literal undead army. The hitch in the plan came when they raised the officers who decided they weren't going to take orders from a bunch of weirdo civilians. Last entry suggests the author and his cohorts were planning on abandoning their station and reporting back to the Necromancer, but the entry ends abruptly in the middle of a sentence. Mass grave is absolutely teeming with those skeletal riflemen. They don't seem to be interested in getting out, but you could definitely jump in. I'll fight one of them. And right now, I got plenty of muscle. Yeah, not right now. So anyways, introductory Nexmex? Seems like it's probably pretty dangerous. You sure you want to read that? Nah, probably not, but we'll read the note on ley lines. Let's check that out. Alright, we'll get out of here. Go to the pickle factory. I see a glint of light in the distance. When you get closer, you realize that it was the sun reflecting on the lens of a discarded pair of binoculars. Sure. Disposable binoculars. Why not? Electric jolt? Oh no, you're late for your shift. Mrs. Vlass is going to be so mad. She might literally bite your head off. Okay, well, not literally, probably. Clock in and hurriedly put on your bright green coveralls. Late again. Better stop taking this job for granted. You think you're going to find a place with a nice dormitory and a reasonably priced company store like ours anywhere else? With your skills? You're doing 3 shifts today, Buster. Get to work. You're on pickle hopper duty. Pickle hopper duty runs you ragged, like always. Keeping the hoppers filled to keep a constant flow down the chutes means you're constantly at a near sprint, because you have to manage the kook chute to keep the levels equal. If you get uneven pickle levels, Miss Vlass knows. Nobody knows how she knows, but she knows. Whack from her cane is the minimum you'll get. At the end of the first 6-hour shift, you get a brief break. Cram a stale cheese sandwich into your mouth while Mrs. Vlass glares at her pocket watch, counting down 3 minutes to the second. Breaks over, second shift. You get over to the salt tank. Managing the salt tank is as strenuous as the pickle hoppers, but it's still a never-ending tension. Brine concentration has to be constantly monitored and kept at a very specific measurement, which means constant adjustments. Meanwhile, you can feel yourself desiccating from the haze of salt dust that fills the room. If anything in this place kills you, it's probably going to be salt tank duty. White lung is nasty business. Cough on your own time and get that salinity back to normal. It's supposed to be 976 parts per thousand. How hard is that to remember? 976, idiot. You get another 180-second break before third shift. You spend most of it drinking water. Company doesn't charge for water, but you've heard a rumor they're considering it. Breaks over, get to the boiler. Oh no, please let me out, please. Boiler duty means shoveling coal into a furnace that runs a giant tank of boiling vinegar. It stings in here. You've tried to work with your eyes closed, but Mrs. Blast screams if you drop any coal on the floor, or if you let the temperature get too low or too high, or just for no particular reason. At least you're used to the smell of boiling vinegar. In fact, you can't smell anything anymore. 190 degrees, idiot. Not 199. Not 191. What do you think we pay you for? 190 degrees. You don't really miss your sense of smell, or not coughing all the time. You don't really want anything anymore, except to die. With a gasp, you finally snap out of the horrible hallucination, or possession, or whatever the hell that was. Jeez, you can still feel the sting of vinegar vapor in your nose. Enter the pickle factory. Alright. So now, we know everything. The kook shoots, we need to even them out. Damn. That might be all balanced. You alright there, partner? Can't sleep, can't sleep, can't sleep, can't sleep. Pointing to 10, pointing to 11, pointing to 12. 12, 10, 11. Six, 13, 14. 14, 15. 16, 14. 15, 16. 8, 12, 13. 10, 8, 15, 14, 6, 5, 3, 2, 12, 7, 14, 11, 9, 13, 10, 11, 12. Kook shoots to be operated. They needed to be even. If I just pull this one until it stops moving. 22, 5, 6. Pulling this moves it up by 2. Moves that down by 1. Moves this. Oh, so 6, 7, 20. $10, 11, 12, 14, 9, 10, 11, 9, 13, 10, 11. God, I hate this. I'm gonna... You know what? We'll come back and mess with that in the next episode. We know how these are supposed to go. Oh, I might have to re-listen to the... Might have to go back in my brain. Oh, I don't remember any of that. I'm going to come back in the next one. I'm going to re-watch or reread all of the things, and then I'll come back in here, finish it super lickety-split quick-like, and then we'll get out of here. But I'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye-bye.